Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's
Hold on.
foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you think?
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery, in the interest of the greater good, vows not to spread misinformation and will ensure all statements he makes are factually true. Like, sharks do not know camels exist. You know what? That is true. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger in fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure, thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Caroline, if it is not October 22nd, 2024, then you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget this show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin and Rumble, YouTube, and Spotify as of now. And the Spotify episode will be there tomorrow morning. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth, it is just the beginning. Quote of the day goes exactly like this fun thing I came up with. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt, see what I did there? It's also the first stage of acceptance, and we're going to see how a large number of people deal with that very soon. My co-host in the upper left, not here this evening, but we are going to have her picture up. She has a headache, is Patricia Steere, so you're going to have to deal with that. She's also not going to be doing the Secret Show tomorrow because she got hit with a guideline strike because she talked about autism, and we're not supposed to talk about it in any sort of medical capacity, so we're not. That's just a word of the wise to everybody else. And in the upper right, the delightful DJ Curious. Hey, DJ, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Can't complain. Another Tuesday that I get to spend with your wonderful face.
Hey, so sweet.
I try.
Oh, but I'm gonna miss Patricia. She looks good in this picture, though.
I know it's a good shot. It's part of her
Like-
compilation thing. Yeah, it's a good shot. That's her in Houston, looking elegant. And the
Looking
thing that kills
gorge.
me is I'm pretty sure that was just an outfit she had in her closet. With most model pics, it's a big rack they choose from. I don't know. No, I'm sure it was just lying around there.
I mean, she looked good.
She looks wonderful. And I don't know if she's in chat. Again, her headache was pretty severe, so I don't think and she let us know she was in trouble. So she's not dying or everything. Every once in a while she'll get pretty bad headaches, and part of it was probably because she got the guideline strike, to be honest. Hey DJ, sometimes it's hard to find Flat Earth friends, but there's an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane. The solution is simple. Why, it's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. How's that for a read?
All right, yep.
So sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She's just put on her squiddly diddly pajamas. That was a real show, guys. We're still at 1967, by the way. I haven't even gotten to 1968. Got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and we'll probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige.
Good night, Paige.
Oh, boy, we got some shout-outs. Shout-outs to Flat Earthers Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones, who will be touring in 2025, God willing. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to thestrong.family, won't you? Pick up some merch. Shout-outs to Zulu1, longtime listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel, Zulu1.
What's up, Zulu?
Got a... You know what? I got a Flat Earth mail, physical mail. It is a card from... don't know who it was from, but it's from Rising Fawn, Georgia. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's right here. It's a wonderful little handmade card, handwritten, longhand. But they do mention in here 1 Corinthians 13:12. Do you know it, DJ?
Ooh, that's a good one. No, I don't know off the top of my head, but I've been reading Corinthians lately a lot.
It's one that the Hollywood scene is used every once in a while. For now we see through a glass darkly. But then face to face, now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known. Meaning, we don't have all the answers. We're not going to know all the answers. But when we go to the other place, it will all be revealed and we'll know everything. And again, spoilers. That's why part of the reason why we're here. You don't get spoilers while you're here.
I know. Isn't that exciting? The suspense is literally killing me.
Yep. It's killing me too. It's been killing me longer because I'm older. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, trust me, man. God and I have had discussions. Granted,
I want to know, what have you guys discussed? That's the good one.
Yeah. We'll talk about it off camera.
Okay.
The emails. Sorry, let's do emails really quick, and then we'll do. Where's my freaking email? Luckily, nobody can see those. I want to shout out to Austin Massey. He wanted to let me know after, I did the secret show with Patricia that he too also dated a stripper. And he goes, they're all crazy. And I just want to clarify, I didn't date a stripper. I dated a girl who tried her luck with being a stripper on her own. Didn't last that long. I don't even think she made it a year. She's a very creative girl from Seattle Academy of Arts and Sciences, one of those drama girls. And it's like, you know what? I could be a stripper. It's like, hey, have fun with it. Be safe. So
Seems like a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
A lot of work. Absolutely.
I might I'll tip my hat off to them.
Oh, yeah.
I wish they didn't have to do it, but,
hey, it's all about Durant. You know what I mean? And that's me trying to be all street, which I can't do because I am extremely white. I also want to do a shout out to John Evans. I'm going to read this real quick. Greetings, my Flat Earth friend. It was nice to see you and the gang last year in Las Vegas. I wanted to let you know that I'm still active with building Flat Earth awareness here in town of UC Davis. Things are really going well. I've had 30 outings this year alone. He's kind of like a Peter Jarvio. I started in 2019. I was wondering if you could give me a holler on one of your shows. Well, this is it. I would also be interested in calling in and discussing bringing flat earthers to people face to face. You know, I'll probably bring you on as a guest. I believe I'm probably one of the only people in the whole country who does this as a consistent basis. Maybe there are others. Yeah, Peter Jarvio. But again, you're a small handful. I want to help other people and inspire them to do this kind of work. My season ends when it gets to be winter, so maybe you could do this thing for me. It'd be so much fun. I will not give out your phone number, but I will give you a call. So thank you, man. It was awesome for you to write in and say that.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. Again, we have street act. We got to remember that Austin Whitsitt, he started out with street activism. That was his thing. He'd go on the sidewalk like a beat cop and just pound the pavement, and that's where he developed his fearless skills. He didn't care who was coming at him. You know,
that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's one thing to debate. So if you think Austin, by the way, has any fear on camera, oh no, he'd do it face to face on the street with you. So doing it over video, oh no, he's got no problems with that. I know that.
Oh yeah, and I also, we got to shout out to Just Jack and Alex who do that as well. They just sent me a video that they did recently, and the cops broke it up. Or tried to break it up, but then the cop was sat there for it seemed like a half hour trying to learn about flat Earth. So you never know who's going to get curious.
Agreed. And so everybody, look, anything helps and everything helps. And we'll talk about that in headlines. By the way, lots of troll action this week. Again, it helps our metrics. I know people get frustrated when trolls come out against us, but every time they do, I mean, remember we all
sorry trolls.
Yeah, we all started out as trolls. Every one of us. I mean, there's a few exceptions, but almost every one of us started out as hating flat Earth, laughing. It's like, what are you, flat Earther? That's ridiculous. Again, David Weiss banned people for life. Now he had to retract some of that later. After.
Do you think he was ever able to find the ones he banned because they really want to know?
I don't know. But speaking of David Weiss, DJ's suggestion, which was, hey, get David Weiss on. We should talk to him. And yeah, I wanted to talk to him because of the before the Antarctica thing happening. And so he is going to be on the show the week after the election. So, so 2 weeks from now, again, we'll talk about it. So next week is going to be called Presidents and Precedents. So hope you guys have your thinking caps on, because I'm going to talk about the presidents, the elections we've had so far, and the presidents that made a difference and the ones that didn't. I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to give you crib notes. You can walk into any history professor and just dazzle them with the info I'm going to throw at you. And then, of course, 2 weeks from today, November 5th, it is going to be something. Because
election day.
Yeah, election day, and we'll talk about that in headlines, which is, again, someone's got to lose. Both sides absolutely are convinced they are going to take this thing. Both sides think they're winning. Both sides think they're losing. Both sides are terrified of what might happen if they lose, and both sides vow revenge if they win. I have never seen the hype build up to this point. And yeah, between now and then, oh my God, it's going to be great. And we'll talk about potentially the October surprise. Have you ever heard that, by the way, DJ? The October surprise?
Oh yeah. A lot of people on the lookout for something.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks left. I'm not counting my chickens. The term I threw out there is I've been red wolfed. I've been cry wolfed. Wow. Yeah, I know. Peanut's looking. Oh. I've been cry wolfed. Why would I say red? Is that a beer? Red wolf? Whatever, it probably is. I've been cry wolfed so many times that until I see it, I haven't seen it. It's what my late father said. He goes, until it happens, it hasn't.
Right. So you don't fall for it, you're saying.
Yeah. But he, of course, when he talked about that, he was mostly talking about people that had their blinkers on, they were going to make a turn. And it's like, why aren't you pulling out? He goes, they haven't turned. It's a good point. Made an accident. It's like, you think the blinker's on and you think it's deliberate. It is not. Oh wait,
that's another one. We don't know much about your father.
It's a little bit of his story. He wasn't a bad father. He really wasn't. He wasn't. But he was actually great right up until I don't mind being candid with you guys. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. My parents waited until I graduated from high school. Waited until I was driven off to college. Then they divorced, and then my dad married his secretary. which
Oh my God.
I know, which is so cliche, and it's like
It's so like Mad Men of him.
oh yeah, it is. It is. You want to know what white collar crime is? That's it. When exec marries his secretary, you know, he got caught into that trap, and yeah, but whatever. Yeah.
Your poor mom.
Yeah, well, she never remarried, and but she's hanging tough, and he took the shot a while back.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't go.
So he's still around, or
Nope, didn't go well. No.
he passed away?
Yeah, 9 days. 9 days later.
Are you kidding
Nope.
me?
Nope. But
Well, no wonder you were so fired up about it. Then that makes a little bit more sense.
yeah,
It's like-
I mean, I've known a number of family members and friends, and again, I know we're not supposed to talk about on the show that you know, some things happened, but yeah, suddenly and unexpectedly.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Who's ignoring the chat again? No, wait. Oh, he's ignoring the chat again? Okay, yeah. By the way, David Weiss is watching this, and yeah, I knew you were going to do that eventually. So you know, he took that video of Paige, watching Paige, and then watching Paige again through the television set. Yeah, now I did it again. So now I'm going to have to do a triple layer of that thing, which is going to be super fun. But actually, I've got it to where I can snip it out and put it in there. So you know what? Next week, I'm going to do it for you. I'm not going to wait till you come on the show on the 12th. Okay. Anyway, let's do meetups really fast. Meetup October 26th, Minnesota. That promo is on my channel. October 27th, Indiana. I am not attending the one in Indiana, just so you guys know. Unless my name is in the title saying with Mark Sargent or with David Weiss or with somebody, they're not there. Okay, it's just a meetup with great, wonderful Flat Earth people, but I'm not going to that one. October 29th, see, West UK with Santos Bonacci. That means Santos Bonacci will be there at the Bournemouth event in the UK. See, there you go. And November 2nd in Binghamton, New York. So, yeah, that's going to happen.
All right.
All right. So we're going to try something new because, again, DJ loves making changes to the format.
Hey,
He loves writing me.
just trying to keep this show polished,
You know what?
right?
You're right. You're right. I rest on my laurels and I get lazy sometimes like anybody else. I mean, aside from running multiple laser systems and flames and trying to turn this into an Iron Maiden concert. So while we're doing headlines, if you guys are skimming through the show and you want to know what we're doing, the banner below my name, and I'm going to change it right now. We're going to change it to Flat Stuff. So I got to remember how to do it. Click on that. We're going to say browse, and we're going to say flat. And so now we're going to go do, oh, look at that. Flat headlines. Look at that. How's that for?
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
I mean, we're still like 15 years behind in graphics, but
Dude.
it's a start.
But
I mean, Austin Witsit has like a really pretty countdown, and Jaren.
I know.
Just saying,
I know.
I'm trying. Strange World. We're making little progress.
You got to remember that up until fairly recently, and by that I mean a number of years, Karen was running the show on her side, and she had all sorts of fantastic things. And
Well,
and they
I think because you didn't even want to be on camera, so this is already a step in that direction.
That's true. And by the way, I'm going to give Patricia the credit there because she was all about getting me on camera, and I still didn't like being on camera, especially when I rewatch stuff, and because the camera puts on a little weight. And so, which is why I went and finally caved in. It's like, all right, I'm going to lose the freaking weight. And just so you guys know, if you didn't figure it out already, I went from 236 to 196. So there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 40 pounds. And I feel better. And yeah, and I look.
You look good.
Thank you. I look a little better on camera. Again, I get back to my college weight anyway. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you feel better?
I do feel better. I mean,
Okay.
I don't remember my college weight much because there was a lot of drinking, and as you know, I don't know what happened to you in college, but for me, the freshman 15 thing, yeah, that was real. Absolutely freaking real.
No, but that's because I didn't graduate college.
Oh, I didn't either. Got to remember, I was thrown out my junior year for manufacturing explosives on campus.
Oh, wow.
So, no.
But it always bothered me that it didn't finish. It's not because I failed out or anything, but some family things happened and I took a break, and then a break became longer than it should have. But getting into Flat Earth actually helped me mentally get over that because it's like less indoctrination. In fact, you were kind of the one hitting it home. Like, Remember when Tyler Oliveri, you were asked him, does your girlfriend have a degree in something? And he was like, yeah. And you were like, oh, I'm sorry. It's harder if you don't have a degree.
And some people took that as an insult. Like, it's like, you calling flat earthers dumb, right? I'm going, no.
I know.
No, I go, that's how conditioning works. I go, if you have, and I'm never going to retract that. It's very, very true. I could plot a graph. It's like, look, if you have a degree in any physical science, right? If you have a bachelor's degree in art history, who cares? But if you have a bachelor's degree in geology, you're in trouble. And if you have a master's degree in anything, any of the sciences, it's too late. It's too late, because then you're already gunning for your PhD, your dissertation, your peer group. You want to be published, and by that I mean academic journals. If you guys don't know what that is, oh, what a pain in the ass.
I know, it always bugged me that I didn't, but I feel so much better now knowing that I'm just not brainwashed completely by the system. I mean, I have 2 years of college under my belt, and I thought about going back here or there, but I could never figure out what I would even want to do besides what I'm already doing, and I have a career and blah, blah, blah. But I have friends who went through the system, and they completely regret it. They're like, it was a scam. I am 100 grand in debt or more.
Right.
It's just crazy what the stories that I've heard from some of my best friends that went to great schools, Berkeley, USC, Harvard. You know, it's wild. And then we start talking flat Earth, and they're like, if this is real, dude, then they just feel like the system completely wronged them. But some of them haven't been able to even entertain this idea. But I do have stories about that. We'll get to it when you're ready.
Yeah, it is. I mean, college is not what it used to be back in the day. I mean, I'm old enough, and Peanut's old enough to remember the days when you could pay, I mean, not literally, you couldn't pay for a semester of college with couch cushion money, but it was cheap. And so parents didn't feel bad, you know, it's like, oh, you quit again, you know, that sort of thing. Nowadays, again, the institutions figured out, it's like, wait, I don't know what took them so long, honestly. We can charge anything we want, and the parents will pay because they're convinced over decades and decades that you have to go to college to get a good job. And
I know it kind of feels that way, and still though. I mean, don't you have to have a degree just to get in the door? That's where I think it's critical for a lot of people, or those professions.
In those professions, sure, but even then, you don't necessarily. I mean, yes, anything that requires a certificate, like engineering, doctor, lawyer, you know, some of the other sciences, sure. But even then, you can do it through online courses nowadays. I mean, University of Phoenix took a huge uptick when tuition prices started going through the roof. But either way, I feel bad because, you know, when I hear about kids that have six-figure debt, it's, you know, by the age of 22, I'm going, oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy because they're not really prepared for when they have to start paying that, and it's all dependent on getting a great job. It's a lot of stress, but you know, I loved college when you could take creative writing classes or take things that are helping you express yourself. So I don't think all college is bad, but there are those classes those courses and things that force you to learn the globe propaganda that just gets hardwired in, you know, and that's the creepy part.
Absolutely agree with you. So the show is called Gaslighting for a number of reasons. One, we're seeing it all over the place, not just in the political arena, which we will get to. But in this week was a big week for trolls. Simultaneously, a lot of the big anti-flat Earth channels came out and came at us big, including, you know, your favorites. In fact, I don't know if you caught it. I skimmed through it. I was not going to give him a lot of the watch times and the metrics. Let's look at it really fast. So if we go over here to, hopefully you can see it on your screen. So if I type in flat Earth and I don't sort by anything, the one that comes up first, I know David Weiss is going, oh God, don't talk about him. Well, I got to talk about him a little bit because Professor Dave Explains did an Antarctic video called "Flat Earthers Are Desperately Dodging a Free Trip to Antarctica." And it's
I knew this was coming.
Yep, and it was up to it's 418 now. Again, I don't know what metrics he's using. I've always been skeptical of his 2 million subs because he can't fill chat rooms. In fact, it was really suspicious. You know, when I go into Professor Dave Explains, you know what's missing here in this? Where's his live? Oh, there's no live stuff. Why is that, you think? Oh, I know why. Well, because he can't fill a freaking live chat room. That's why. You know, remember when he debated Dave and there were only 1,000 people in chat? If you have 2 million subs, you can get 5,000 people in chat instantly, right? And there were only 1,000 people in chat, and they were all us. I know, I was there. So what happened?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. All of his subs real? No, but at the same time, I appreciate the metrics because there's 418,000 hits in 4 days. And that just adds up to, more of our stuff. And while we're at it, let's scroll down a little bit. May have to hit it again because we had a couple more in there, which was, this guy, Zach Starr. He came in, a math guy, and again, certified channel. He's got 86,000 hits in 5 days. Math versus flat Earth. He wants to hit it from the math point. It's like, dude, I don't know how many times I have to say it's math club, real small. Not a lot of people in math club. Or physics club or chess club, and they're really all the same people, aren't they? So thanks for the hits there. That takes it up to 500,000. And Peanut says he'll take the math club on. Yeah, you take the whole club on. He could beat him up. Peanut, I'm pretty sure, was one of those bullies in high school.
But that is a big argument for a lot of these globers, because they're like, well, what about the radius? And so I have to tell them, well, they falsified the radius. But do I really know what that means? Not exactly. But I know that the math isn't adding up because there is no curvature. No. So it's just. Yeah.
And the math makes huge assumptions. Wow, assumptions. Where they can't, again, only they would understand it, which is why, again, I am not worried about Antarctica at all. Again, this is for Professor Dave. Again, appreciate that you put Strange World clips of all the three of us, on your show. Hey, great, because, me saying why I'm not going to Antarctica. Why am I not going to Antarctica? Because I don't know anyone in the Flat Earth community that got into Flat Earth because of the Antarctic sun. Never happens. The only people that get in are because of long-distance photography, usually how they get in, right? The space programs, physics, general physics, including gravity, that theory that you guys keep trying to push off as fact, even though it's not. And then the curve, which is, Antarctica does not affect any of those things. So, but he, of course, like you were saying, DJ, he's going to jump in on this. He had to. Absolutely.
Of course.
And
they just want to, Will Duffy probably tipped them off. I was like, hey, you got to post one of these videos on your channel. Let's get this going. You're going to, because he also, didn't Professor Dave say he's going to Antarctica now? So he
is he going?
And go to Will Duffy's page. You'll see he just did.
Is he actually going now?
By the way, Professor Dave did also not finish college, right? So
I know he's not a professor, and I know. Look, he's been around. He is one of those reactions. Professor Dave and Simon Dan. By the way, Simon Dan put a new video out. It hasn't been tracking here. Let me see if I can get it to pop up. I don't see him. He's gotten bumped down, which is he's got another 125,000 hits on his channel. So again, we're what? Thank you for the 750,000 hits that you guys have thrown at Flat Earth, and what was the thing that I wanted to show you on Professor Dave?
You were going to show me. No, we're going to go to Will Duffy because Professor Dave apparently accepted an invitation. Will Duffy, who has endless tickets to Antarctica apparently, but not an extra one that was not used up by somebody for the flat earther who got scammed by a flat earther. Right. Remember that whole story? Yeah. Okay, Will Duffy.
Yeah, it is. So between Zach Starr, Simon Dan, and then Dave McKeegan, he created a new one as well, and he's over 100,000 hits. Oh yeah, tons and tons of hits. Again, wooden arrows into a bonfire. I'd love more. I know people hate it. It's like, look, I'd love 1,000 more trolls. I really, really would. Let them.
Yeah, they're great. What's funny is all my friends I have one person in particular who subscribed to Dave McKeegan, and after I tried to get him to at least look into Flat Earth, he starts quoting Dave McKeegan things to me. I'm like, wait a second, you're subscribed to this guy after I just asked you to watch some things, Dusty approved, DJ approved content. And then I realized that Dave McKeegan can't ever show him the curvature. So that's all I had to tell my friend. I was like, why don't you just see if Dave McKeegan's ever going to show you a picture of the curve from outer space? You show me a legit picture. So, hey, that's the problem. What do you think Dave and Dave McKeegan, why is everyone freaking named Dave? But anyway, are they ever going to, do you think that they know that it's flat and they're going to keep going? Or do you think they just still are reaffirming their own bias?
Yeah. For me, I know it's a gamble on Will Duffy's part. He has gambled on other things in the past, and I will give him credit for one thing. If the Antarctic thing, and I know David Weiss this is what haunts him, which is if this thing gets any mainstream media traction, everything funnels back to Will. meaning he's the guy to talk to, and he'll be the one that gets interviewed. Not Professor Dave, not Zach Starr, not Simon Dan, not McKeegan, none of those guys. It will all be freaking Will Duffy. I hope it doesn't happen. It's not going to make any difference anyway, because at the very least, again, was the Antarctic Sun got to do with? Oh no, I'll just pick one off the top of my head. Of why no space program has bothered to go, even attempt to go to the moon since 1972. At least hasn't even pretended to go to the moon since 1972. Oh, unmanned. It's like, no, boots on the ground, guys. Boots on the ground. What happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's also weird that we've never flown over Antarctica. They can't even show us like satellite images over it, or they can't show anything, even CG. They have to show us CGI. They can't show us real footage over Antarctica.
Yeah. And by the way, you see this Zach Starr, by the way, there's so many things wrong. I mean, it's an intriguing looking thumb, the math versus flat earth thumb there, but there's so many things wrong with that. Okay, first off, it's a floating disc in space. 2, apparently it's only Africa. It's a world with only Africa and what apparently might be the Middle East. I think there's Europe up there, but North America's can't even possibly fit on there. Also, what's it hovering over?
Looks like the Earth.
Yeah, so what are we talking about? Oh, God.
The globe, the fake Earth.
You sound like Trump just briefly there. I'm trying to see. Simon Den's already been bumped. Oh, sorry. One more. That's what I was going to show you. That's what I forgot. Okay, here's one more thing before we go on. And I know I'm not stalling for time. I want to mention this for Professor Dave. It wasn't his channel. It was the video. So remember how I said how we're getting shadow banned in all areas, right?
Yeah.
This is how bad it's gotten. They don't even care if you're doing a debunking video, right? Professor Dave, absolutely a debunking channel. That's where he comes from. It's like he had, 50,000 subs, and then all of a sudden, oh, hey, I do a flat earth video, making fun of flat earth. I can get 500,000 hits. What do you think I'm going to do more of? And I'm going to use that money to buy subs. Smart move. Actually, it is a smart move. And in this case, here's what happens, right? Now, here's what they do. You'll see it, and that is... There's the Flat Earth Wikipedia notice. They slap that sticker on everyone now. Ooh. If you do a Flat Earth video, it doesn't matter if you're pro or against, you will automatically, now you won't be shadow banned as bad as us, but you are going to be shadow banned. He's made a bunch of videos, which is eventually they get knocked down from the top. So this video here, it's only been 4 days. It's not going to be much longer. And then after that, it's going to get, no, there's Dave, by the way. It's going to get knocked down, and it's going to be replaced again by probably, what's her face? Millie Bobby Brown, one of ours.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be the day when the debunker sites start getting shadow banned just for having anything flat Earth. They'll be like, "What the heck is happening?"
Well, I mean, we've already seen it. I look at Tyler Oliveri, right?
Yeah.
Big channel. All of a sudden, he does a flat Earth video, and we thought it was initially because he wasn't debunking us hard enough, but he was crawling along with the hits, just crawling. It was not tracking as well as some of his other stuff. And then it finally, boom, they let it up there for a while, when flat Earth, the top of the charts, and then gone, never to be seen again. Kind of like that Simon Dan one. I can't get it to pop up. Simon Dan was here. I think it was up here maybe not even 5 days, 6 days tops. It's not there anymore. Oh yeah, there's my favorite. By the way, they've been photoshopping that one. See the curve on this one, right in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
On the Red Bull jump. Yeah, but watch when I do that. Oh, something wrong there. You straightened it out a little bit. That you photoshopped the still, made it a way better image, but the curve isn't that bad. You get there, it's like, oh, the curve's ridiculous.
Yeah, the whole Earth is curving around New Mexico,
and it's a different Earth. It's like yeah, that's the desert of New Mexico. What's that? Exactly. Again, that shot is absolutely freaking fraudulent, and it's got 32 million hits. Oh my God. At least somebody sent me a thing. The Neil Tyson. I sent. Yeah. There you go. Peanut sent me a YouTube short on Neil deGrasse Tyson, how he was on Rogan's thing, and he was actually repeating the same line that he did from that stage show, which was the Red Bull jump. He goes, it's not space. Because Joe Rogan asked him if he would go up in the Amazon. Was the Amazon rocket? The Jeff Bezos rocket. If he would go up in it like Shatner did. And his excuse was, I know he didn't want to go up anyway, but he's like, why? It doesn't go to space. And then he laid it out again. He goes, look, it goes this far off a freaking globe. It doesn't go far enough to see anything. So why would I go? And it's like, say what you want about Neil Tyson. He has helped us more than he's hurt us. He has given us, quote, gold. Absolutely freaking gold quotes.
He really has, and it's used over and over and over, where it's like, does he even realize that he's in all these level movies and all this other flat? Do you think he pays attention and sees it and doesn't care? Like, what are they thinking?
Right.
Why don't they just shut him up?
They should. And opposed to, let's segue over to this one, because we're still in, see what we have here. We're still in flat headlines. This is from Eco News. This is the guy that doesn't give me, I know, Peanut's losing it. Yeah. Elon Musk, again, this is just clickbait. That's all it is. All Elon has to do is mention something in passing, and it is a full-blown article, because he is so red hot right now, because his credibility is off the charts, even though it's completely unwarranted. Elon Musk skips Mars and the moon. His next designation is Jupiter, and he's already on his way. That is a straight up lie. And it's like, what are you talking about? Okay, first off, nobody's even tried to go to the moon. The moon, 237,000 miles away since 1972, right? Mars is unattainable. Even if it was real, let's see him get through the asteroid belt. Yeah, there's an asteroid belt, by the way, between Mars and Jupiter, if you believe that. A big one. How are you getting through that? Mars is absolutely, even if you thought you could get there, you can't, because we do not have a fuel system. It's a one-way trip. It's a death sentence, right? And in this case, he's like, oh no, we're thinking about, he's trying to jump on the whole Europa moon bandwagon. Europa, which is straight out of 2010, the movie from 1986 with Roy Scheider.
I know, it's the Glober's last hope of finding life in our universe, our solar system, in our immediate backyard. You know?
Right, and they say already in here, and by the way, there's your little, what's this landing on there? That because that's going to make it a Jupiter. That's supposedly one of Jupiter's moon. Doesn't look like there's a lot of life there anyway, but it's supposedly 5.5 years to get there. So again, he loves throwing out stuff there where the date is so far down the road that no one's ever going to think about it. So a Europa Clipper, currently on its way to Jupiter as of October of 2024, will take 5.5 years, so target year set at 2030. If the mission confirms that Europa C has ingredients for life, then the mission will be a significant scientific one. It's like, wait, you're transmitting? You're going to transmit data? You're going to do soil samples at 5.5 years away? No, of course not. Of course not. You're not doing anything at all.
Well, that's what they want, though, because not only do they want people to forget about it, they want to collect all the money that they're going to be making, like NASA, for the 5 years that it takes. And then we got there, and oh, you know what, the thing crashed. We'll send another one. We'll take another 5 years. And the people that wait around for the images, and then you get those images that you've been waiting for 10 years to see. And meanwhile, how much money has NASA collected on this program that nobody knows is really happening or not?
Apparently, what you said, DJ, apparently collecting investors for space programs is so easy to do that all you have to, especially if Elon's tied to it in any capacity whatsoever, it's like people just throw their money at it. It's like, again, you forget. Why is nobody talking about what happened to Twitter? No one wants to talk about it. He bought Twitter, right? Changed it to X, and the stock price has dropped 75% in 2 years. How it's barely even open. Why is nobody talking about that? But yet he can talk about this. Just we should just don't even worry about the moon. Let's talk about Jupiter. It's like, what are you talking about? Weren't you talking about Mars? You were going to do Mars in less than 5 years, and you were going to.
Yeah, I'd be so frustrated. Thank God I got into flat Earth when I did. I would be going crazy right now with none of this globe shit happening.
Hey,
guys, pay attention to the space news out there. You're going to realize nothing ever happens. It's a nightmare.
I'm not reading that, Tina. I can't do it. The trolls, by the way, to the trolls, again, I've been doing this longer than you have. Tell me about the Dear Moon Project. The Dear Moon Project. This is when Elon first showed up on my BS radar, which was in 2017. He goes, oh, I'm going to take a bunch of content creators, and I'm going to take them on a space bus around the moon. Right? We're not going to land. We're just going to take a tour. And we're going to do it by the end of 2018. Yeah, so it's 2024. The contract ran out earlier this year, the big Japanese investor, the billionaire, and it's done. It's not going to happen. They canceled it quietly in the background. So the Dear Moon Project, and there was all people going, Dear what? It's like, no, it was a thing. Look it up. Go in the Wayback Machine. It was a thing. There were a lot of content creators that were going ape, just freaking ape. It's like, I'm going to the moon. It's going to be great.
No, Peanut said he's going to Uranus.
See, you're not supposed to say that. Yeah, and Peanut, everything.
Good one, Peanut.
I'm sorry. I know that I rail on Elon, but you got to remember the guy has never followed through with anything he's ever set out to do. And why people, yes, I know that there's a few people buying Cybertrucks, but not that many. The Cybertruck is, again, going to go down as one of the worst automobiles ever. And and Tesla's losing their freaking shirts right now because electric cars have big problems, like, I don't know, catching fire when wet. That's bad.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that one.
You didn't know that? Oh, yeah. You're not supposed to.
Wet?
If you drive through standing water, like a deep mud puddle with a Tesla, you're risking it. You're spinning the chamber on that one. You don't know. And if it's salt, if there's any salt water in there, like, after a storm, if salt water breaches the battery compartment at all, it is just a matter of time. And once that fire starts, because it's basically just a chemical. The battery is just a whole bunch. It's an electrochemical mineral deposit. And if you throw salt water in there, remember, it's already electrically charged. It'll just pop. And then once the fire starts, it cannot be put out. And in fact, there was a wonderful thing. I don't know if you remember. I ran this story, at least a couple months ago, where a guy was trying to back a boat into a lake. Right? This is freshwater, right? And he, I think it was freshwater anyway. And he got away from him. And the Tesla goes into the drink. They bail. And the Tesla catches fire. It's underwater and it's still burning. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Tesla's got...
just so many reasons to avoid. But have you seen all those Tesla robot memes that have been popping up all week? Those are pretty funny this week.
Okay. The Tesla robot meme. Again, and by the way, the investors are not happy because they knew it was smoke and mirrors. Any decent investor, if you go to one of those shows, again, with the robots that were walking around. Well, okay, again, two types of robots, which we talked about last week, which was the robots that shuffled like they were 90, right? Shuffled. And again, the guys controlling them were right behind them. And then the guys, the robots that were serving drinks, but that was just an exoskeleton suit with a guy literally with another set of controllers behind him that was doing this. And it was all smoke and mirrors, and people said, "Oh, again," the line you probably remember that I used last week, which was, Elon again throws out this comment, "Oh, robots that can babysit your kids," and I'm going, "Yeah," until that 300-pound pile of batteries trips on a cord and falls on your toddler, and then that's it. It's over. It's game freaking over. The closest look, I've got a freaking iRobot over in the corner, right? That's as far as we've gotten in 10 years, right? And even
I love how you keep it so simple for the Globe side because, dude, you're so right. No one's thinking of that, though. They're thinking like, oh, no, it's going to be cooking dinner and doing laundry and watching my kids and helping me do my homework. But they don't realize it's just one clumsy mistake and the thing is falling over. And
yeah, there's an investigation, by the way, into Tesla right now because the new Teslas that they're making out there, hang on, Peanut says if you get in any small accident with an EV, yeah, your car is totaled. Yes, they can. Yes, absolutely good point. Sorry, one more thing really quick. People don't know this. If you buy an electric car, don't ever get in an accident. You can't, because if you get hit from the side, usually from the sides, and that's pretty common, right? And that battery gets dinged, even the slightest, the insurance companies do not want to risk having an independent person come in and swap out the battery, because there is no certified people that swap out batteries for these things because the battery is so huge and so expensive. So they just replace your car. And you're going, well, that's kind of good. I get a new car. It's like, yeah, but then your insurance rates go through the freaking roof because every time you get in an accident, it's a total. It's not like you get a fender bender and you have $2,000 worth of damage. Every fender bender is, what's the base price on Teslas? 50 grand. It's 50 grand every time you get dinged. Oh yeah, it's bad.
Yikes.
So sorry, let's move on to another flat Earth news story, which is from axiomspace.com. Axiom Space and Prada unveil a spacesuit design for the moon return. Okay, so we're gonna do the whole get a famous designer in there. Sorry, MSRP. Oh, Teslas are running 75 grand for the Tesla S? Yikes. Yeah, that's an expensive fender bender. 75 grand. Sorry. So Axiom Space and Prada revealed for the first time today a flight design, a special spacesuit that will be used for NASA's Artemis 3 mission. Okay, what's the problem with that? Oh, let me see, because Artemis 2, the last time I checked, was a big fireworks show and hasn't gone anywhere. Artemis 2 just blows up. They haven't gotten even Artemis 2 to leave the atmosphere yet, last time I checked. So what are we talking about here? Artemis 3. Okay, so this is your spacesuit for your Artemis 3 program. Oh yeah, what happened to the roof?
This looks less maneuverable than the other ones. I mean, by far, right?
Yep. Like what Peanut's saying. He's going, what happens to the suits you can run in? It's like, yeah, good point. In fact, here's the specs. You're gonna love this, right? Some of the specs down here, right? Which is variable suit pressure. Oh, that's good. Critical system redundancy, regenerable CO2 scrubbing system. Okay, that's BS. Okay, so that's unlimited air with that backpack. How you pulling that off? Maintain on-orbit or mission modular exclusive design. Cellular communication. It's got a phone in it. Great. Portable life support system backpack to keep an astronaut safe for 8 hours. I'm calling BS on that one. It's a freaking scuba tank. How is that thing holding 8 hours worth of life support in it, and yet we can't do the same for scuba divers in a self-contained system? Tell me how that doesn't have a civilian counterpart. Tell me how that happened. Custom-made gloves. That would also be good for fire departments. Custom-made gloves. That's actually a feature on this. Custom-made gloves. And boots engineered to withstand lunar temps and rough terrain. Biometric monitoring. Let's see. Oh, it's got an HD camera built in. Helmet and visor. Helmet and visor.
Dude, this looks like ChatGPT was like, someone at Prada and marketing was like, ChatGPT, do a marketing campaign for the new spacesuit by Prada, and just put in those bullet points. Like, I need a few more bullet points. Just putting complete BS. Where's the testing of this suit, Prada?
Yeah.
Show us.
It is utter silliness. It is utter silliness. But again, they were awarded a contract. How much money do they get for this? I guarantee you it's a lot. I mean, again, Prada wouldn't sell themselves out cheap. Oh, we got to find out eventually how much money they were awarded to do this, because I am sure they are making, again, like what you said, DJ, they're making millions just in the concept. If you even come up with an idea, hey, I have an idea for space. Anyone want to invest? They just throw money at you. And in this case, it's like, well, Prada's not going to sign on into anything that's low quality.
Oh, Prada, I expected more from you.
I know, right? All right. Okay.
Could have been a little more chic too. I mean, that looks bad.
This one
looks like a McDonald's Big Mac box.
This one is my favorite space story of the week. You ready? Again, this goes along with, you come up with a space idea, and all you have to do is get investors, right? Giant catapult. Defies gravity by launching satellites into orbit without the need of rocket fuel. Satellites are critical for monitoring Earth's health, identifying issues like methane leaks, and conducting various other types of research, right? Oh yeah, no, Peanut, it is old, but they're still doing it. You're absolutely good point. So by the way, this is not real. First off, you would never have this thing. So you're saying that doesn't look like a catapult? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna play the video for you down below. This building, this whole thing, absolutely fabricated. In fact, the trees aren't even real either. They just create. This is a mock-up, it is a. You know how shot putters work, where they just spin in a circle and then it's the hammer. I'm sorry, not shot putters. The hammer throw, where they spin, and finally let go. That's what this is.
Yeah, it's like very trench bolt from Matilda.
Yes. So here, let me see if I can find the video for you. Okay, so watch this. I'll play this. I don't think you're gonna get. I'll take off the sound. So. Again, this is all fabricated. There is no working model of this. And Peanut says, well, this is old. Yes, this company's been around for 10 years. They've been doing this since 2014, collecting your money. And all it does, again, you're not going to see a single piece of actual footage in this. Can you see this okay?
I can see it.
Okay, so the space catapult, yeah, that's the smaller version that Peanut's got a link to the thing. And that's what shooting fire it straight up. Which is okay. You get this little rocket thing, right? And then you put it in a let's just go thing going a little further. And they put it in a cyclotron. Oh yeah, state of the art. Again, all these monitors, everything about it is completely simulated. And then they fire this thing up. Here's all the gears to go with it, and this thing spins, right? Spins the rocket around and then fires it out through this tube on the side when it gets up to a certain point. It's like So your idea, just so I'm clear here, no rockets, no helium. By the way, helium's pennies on the dollar. Thank you, NASA, for that. You're going to throw it. You're just going to throw it real hard. So you're going to Superman it with a baseball, and there it goes. There, that's it.
Whoa.
Wow, that's incredible. And all,
Mommy, how much to ride the catapult?
oh my God, the G-forces. Yeah, and by the way, you could never ever, this is a limited technology, even if you could pull this off. Now, do I think this would be kind of interesting in warfare? Yeah, potentially. If you,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is going straight to war.
yeah, you could weaponize this and turn this potentially, but I don't know how far you could throw it. I mean, there are howitzers that could fire, what, 30, 40 miles? Give or take? Peanut? Yeah, 30, 40 miles? Can you throw something for more than 40 miles? If you can, then maybe you have something, except that doesn't look real mobile. That's a building. So whatever. It's absolutely freaking silly. So yeah, thank you guys. And by the way, also thank you for the Sarah Palin clickbait advertisements there.
The bikini.
You guys remember Sarah Palin?
She's still around. Damn.
The hottest VP we ever had. Clickbait. That's wonderful. So yeah, giant catapult defies gravity. But again, I was reading, and Peanut's absolutely right. I was writing, and this California company's been doing this since 2014. And again, they were saying, oh, let's say their 10th successful launch. But again, there's no footage of this launch. The company plans to launch constellations of satellites below 600 miles by 2026. Okay, what about now? Do we have any footage about now? Yeah, weaponize it. Peanut says, U.S. will test a cannon with range of 1,000 miles by 2023. Not quite there yet. Okay.
Oh, man.
I know.
Well, this is good.
All right, so what else?
Good laugh.
Yeah, so let's see. Before we go to, no, we got one more. This is before we go to political stuff. Do we have time before the, we still got time. We'll even change categories before we go to break for DJ, which is.
Well, you still got to play your Fast Earth.
Oh, yes, I do. I will play it right after I show this, because that will transition into the politics. Thank you. That's why you're here, not just to be pretty.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, okay. Well, the pretty is the important part. So, okay. So this is from RT.com, which stands for RussiaToday.com. Yes, I scan everything. Just so you guys know, I do Fox, I do MSNBC, I do CNN, I do Newsmax, Russia Today, BBC. I was thinking of doing a German one, but I hadn't really gotten there. I thought the BBC would be good enough for the European take on stuff. Anyway, so RT... Yeah, exactly. So this one's great. So the headline is meaningless, right? The colonial legacy of this vital river threatens peace in Africa and beyond, which is also one of the reasons why I said denial isn't just a river in Egypt. What you're looking at here, supposedly, is a satellite photo of Egypt at night. And this line here, this is the Nile River, and that is the Nile Delta. And if you remember, I've got slides that talk about this. It's like, wow, there's a pretty big city there. It's like, no. That's crops. Those aren't city lights. In fact, there are no lights there at all. I know because I was there. I went to Egypt, and I went on the Nile tour itself. And only later did I get into FE. And so when somebody did the comparison, it's like, hey, it's like on the Nile, it's not that bright. It's like, no. Plus, of course, this massive curvature of the earth. So the whole earth is only as big as Egypt, for one. You know,
yeah, look at that.
Obviously a fisheye lens. And what Peanut's saying, why is there a shield over the earth? And yes. And by the way, there's Jerusalem and the West Bank all up here, the other stuff. And lights don't look like that at night. Like, I've flown many, many, many times. And you cannot, it is not nearly that bright. But more importantly is they try to make, this isn't the first time they've tried to do this, which is they try to add civilization and cities to an area that isn't. That is farmland. That is not a big city. Cairo, oh sure, that might be the bright part below it, but not that other part. No. And if you think I'm kidding, look up the, you can look this, guys, look at this if you get a chance. I don't know if DJ's ever heard of. You've heard of the blue earth, right? You know, the blue marble. Right?
Yeah.
You ever looked up the black marble?
No.
Oh yeah, that's Earth at night. The black marble shots. The problem was the artists, kind of like the Robert Simmons or the guy that did the blue marble shot. There's like, wow, you can't see much at night with the black marble. So they were adding in stuff like this into places that shouldn't have been. And one of them was Western Australia. there was like all these cities and not just the coastline. There was this big chunk of Western Australia that was all lit up with cities, and people immediately called up and it's like, what's that exactly? Because
secret bases? No.
If you know anything about Australia, it is mostly desert. There's not much there. You have cities on the coastline, but the interior is pretty bleak. Watch The Road Warrior when you get a chance. I mean, it's a pretty country. Don't get me wrong. I think Australia is beautiful, but it's not like America where you have Kansas City and Chicago and Denver and Salt Lake where you have stuff in the interior. It's not that way. So yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Okay, let's run the video and then we'll get into start up with the politics. So. Okay. Let me minimize this. We'll pop this back up and we'll go to this. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, 60 seconds will change your life. This is the fast earth clue that I just made called Election 24. So my flat earth friends message me and say, Mark, the election is coming up. Are you ready? Oh, I'm ready. Are you? This is the most important election in U.S. history. So not kidding, because it's uncharted territory no matter who wins. The U.S. has only had 58 elections since 1789. In every case except the first, the president-elect has never been challenged. This one will be different. Let's game it out. Tuesday, nobody sleeps because both sides think the other is cheating. Over the next few days, red and blue teams claim they have the president-elect. This means for 2 months, there is a window where America is essentially leaderless. This is when it is the most vulnerable to outside or inside attack. Let's say every country that the U.S. has abused decides to then bring the pain. One of two things happens. Either the enemies turn everything into a Red Dawn men in the high castle situation, or the whole thing is a giant trap for all those enemies, and the U.S. brings the hammer down and creates a new empire from the ashes. It doesn't matter if she never won a primary or he is a convicted felon. This is bigger than that. This is about what role the U.S. will or will not play in the New World Order. Do your own research. Whatever. I'm done. Yeah. So there you go. So the message, there was a couple of things about that video that I had some fun with. One was, oh boy, what happened just here? Got to get back up there. Oh, darn it. Hang on. What happened?
Oh, you clicked on Sarah Palin.
No, there it is. No, I did not click on Sarah Palin. Okay, so a couple of things there. One, I love the fact that Mexico was listed as one of our enemies. It's like Iran and China, and which is why I put a big question mark over it. It's like Mexico, like 7-10%. It's like, really? I mean, yeah, you could use it as a staging area, but I would never call them a direct enemy. I don't think I've ever heard of that. It's like, fine, we have some border issues with them. It's not like they're threatening militarily on any regular basis, so that was kind of fun. To mention the BP. Oh, well, no, I didn't. Okay, Peanut. It's like, look, there's only so much I can squeeze into the 60 seconds, which is why next week we will go over it in great detail. And, of course, election night, which is coming up on November 5th, we're going to be really hammering on it. But what Peanut wanted me to mention, but I couldn't get it in there, I wanted to, which was if there is dispute with the election, we'll carry this past the break, which is if there's a dispute with the election, the person that makes the final deciding, not vote, but make final decision is the vice president of the United States. And that's uncharted territory because the vice president happens to be running for president.
Yeah, that's psychotic.
So she would have to actually put her stamp of approval. Let's say, if Trump wins, doesn't matter. If Trump wins, she'd have to give her stamp of approval. And if he loses and fights it, she would be the one that decides if it's a legitimate. Oh no, it is.
It sounds like they can't lose. I mean, come on. If elections are rigged anyway, what is going to happen?
Let me, and I'm not going to go into this headline too much yet because we still have we get 4 minutes. But I want to get off a little thing off my chest, which is okay. Here's the overarching theme. And people say, oh, it's a fantasy. You're just fear mongering. It's like no. You got to understand what's happening here. What's happening in this election process, and I'm not kidding. I can't overhype this. This is going to be the most dramatic election ever. It's there's nothing, not even close. We have polarized everybody so much. Blue team hates red team, and red team hates blue team to such a degree that neither side thinks they can lose, and both sides are terrified if they do lose. And so, sorry, let me give you the short, blunt version. I'm trying not to be, because again, I don't vote. Don't ask DJ about voting, because hey, it's your business, whatever. But if red team loses, for example, and we'll talk about the October surprise really quick before we go to break too, which is if red team loses, that's it. The Republican Party is done. And I what I mean by that is, it's like, why would they be done? It's like, well, because if blue team can elect, I'm trying to be sensitive when I say this. If blue team can elect on short notice a minority woman, a VP that nobody cared about for 4 years, just out of the blue, it's like if they can put her in there and get her into the White House, they can get anybody in. And that's me being nice, which means that it doesn't matter who red team brings to the table anymore. That's it. And by the way, after Trump doesn't run, let's say blue team wins, right? And Trump has already said he's not going to try to run again. Why would he? He's going to be after, pushing 82 by the time that thing rolled around. I think 82. It's like, who do you got? It wouldn't matter, because at this point it's so polarized that blue team would just vote against anything that was red. And I'm sorry, the flip side of that, let's say Trump wins, right? So again, doesn't matter who wins. If Trump wins, blue team will lose their minds, because they've been talking. Remember, they've been talking about Trump every day for the last 4 years, and he hasn't even been president, right? They were just so happy that he was voted out that the last 4 years are just like, oh, thank God he's gone. Thank God he's gone. Imagine doing that for 4 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, he's not gone? Imagine every talk show, every blue media. They wouldn't even. He went to the Steelers game the other day. Peanut knows this. Went to the Pittsburgh Steelers game the other day. The network NBC he was in the skybox just like Taylor Swift. Would not show him on camera. Would not show him on camera. And the pregames, all sorts of fans. When they showed him inside the stadium, fans were like going USA, USA. So between the two of them, we're gonna go break in a second. What was the other thing I want to bring up real quick before the...
Well, I heard he's going on Joe Rogan.
Yes, that was just announced today that he's going to get on Joe Rogan again. Joe Rogan's smart. Crazy. He's playing both sides. He's gonna make sure. But good timing. Get on Rogan before. Who knows how that interview is going to go? Yeah, I don't know. Is he doing it live, or is he gonna? I think they probably should.
No, it's not live. It's usually pre-recorded.
Yeah, so they'll edit it down, which is nice. They'll cut out a lot of the rambling that he tends to do now. He goes off.
It's so interesting to hear him talk for 2.5, 3 hours. I mean, that's how long Joe Rogan's podcasts usually are.
Right.
So
I mean, we've heard him long enough. Between the 4 years that he was president, the 4 years we've been quoting him since, that everybody knows his speech patterns. How many adjectives does he use? Or it's tremendous. It's really amazing. Really great. Yeah. It's like everybody.
Unbelievable.
Everybody knows how Trump talks. So when we come back from break, we will talk. Yeah, it's huge. Yeah. Oh, God.
It's going to be big. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be. Wow, you actually do a pretty good Trump.
That was nothing.
That's not. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that can do him. I mean, it's kind of like people that can do Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a lot of people that can do Arnold. A lot of people.
Down.
To the chopper.
To the chopper.
There's a bomb in there.
It's not a tumor.
Oh, God.
Well, as a kid, we all loved quoting Arnold.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Peanut says, okay, we got to get a break. Okay, so we're going to break. When we come back, we are going to, in fact, I'll change the headlines while we're, no, I won't. I'll wait till we get from break. And then we'll talk about all sorts of stuff. So what happens when I hit this?
Introducing the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock App Meetup Maker. Never miss another meetup again. You can look up meetups in several different ways. Sort by date. You can search by location or within a 500-mile radius. To create and list your own meetup, enter the date. Give the meetup a name, a location name, add a photo, enter your contact information, create a group chat name, and then fill out the description with all of the details. Select your background color and hit the Save button to add your meetup to the list. Once the meetup is saved, it will ask you to create a group chat for all of the meetups so people can join the group and start a local chat community. Select Public Group, add your welcome message, and your meetup is now available for all to see. To make sure you don't miss another meetup in your area, you can select your desired radius and whether you want push notifications or email or both. Whenever a new meetup is added in your selected radius, you get notified. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock Meetup Maker, bringing people together all around the plane.
Join me, Karen B, every Moon Day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. You can also go to flatearthfestivals.com for updates on the latest news for Flattoberfest 2024 and also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. It is you and me and the always delightful DJ Curious.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, what's happening, man? And, yeah, Patricia Steere, just a reminder for those in the chat. It's like, where's Patricia? Is she on that couch? Is she going to be on the couch? No, she's not on the couch. She is sick at home, and so is just a guy's night out tonight. And tomorrow there will be no secret show because Patricia got a guideline strike for talking about autism on an old show from 2016. That's the worst part, which was that if you have a show that's grandfathered in from years ago, like me, they'll just remove it. But if you put something new out there, they'll be like, nope, you knew the rules, banned.
Oh no! So does she have to go back and listen to all these old shows before she posts them?
Yep, she does, or one of her people has to, definitely. So yeah. It's unfortunate, but it happens. Oh, yeah, you know what that was? Joe Jackson stepping out from his album.
Night and day.
Yep.
Night and day. Night and day. Right, everyone? Everyone, chime in. Night and day.
Yep. Thank you, Peanut. See, again, that's why you're there. I get distracted. It's true. Okay.
Well, I was about to say it too, but
were you? Well, but Patricia threw me. It's such a great shot. And if I think, you know what kills me about that shot is that's not, I had like, 10 to choose from, and they were all equally as stunning. I was like,
I know, Patricia, love what you're doing.
Yep. She is one of those genetic lottery winners, much like you, DJ, which is why I hate both of you. Okay, so this one is from the Economic Times. This is from India, by the way. This is news out in India. Keep in mind, right? And so the story is Trump should seize power even if he loses U.S. elections. A quarter of Republicans think that. Now, they've been running the story. Initially, the story started at like 17%, right? And then it went up to 20. And then, as you know, the rumor mill just keeps expanding it. And in this case, Sorry, I got to get back to it. Oh, swear to God. They keep... and so Republicans who think Trump should take over the event and he loses the next election are in the minority. 1 in 7. Okay, 1 in 7 is not a quarter of them, right? Should be made to alter the results of the 2024 election. It's like, what are you going to do? And again, this plays into the whole 5D chess, where Trump actually controls the military, and there'll be a coup. It's like, okay, sure. Oh, that's what I want to talk about, which was so yeah, that is a story that's being flooded.
Okay, can I say hi to the chat really quick too?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got?
Okay. Hey, I want to say hi because usually Patricia gets to do this, so I thought it'd be fun. And then I was going to say, hey, chat, who do we think is going to win the election? I mean, that's like...
Yes.
I want to ask that question.
It's a very Trump-heavy election, or chat room, but go ahead.
I know, right? Well, I'm just curious what the chat's going to say. So, hello, XOXO Nico, Lowry, shout out to MFT, Dr. Boss. Ooh, we got Jessica in the chat. Jeff Garrett. Jeff, I guess if they have their first and last name, I could say it right. I never do this. Greg Foster, Rico, let's see, who else do we got? David Z, shout out to you. All right, well, I think that's kind of, we got Dan the Waterman, Josh, shout out to Josh, he's great. Denton, and ADR Half Tater. All right, well, I think that's everyone I could see off the top of my head. But hey, shout out to all of you. And who do we think is going to win the election? I want to start getting that going. Let's do a little poll.
And as you know, we are now officially into Globe headlines. Yes.
Oh.
Because all the headlines that don't have to do directly with space, but especially, again, an election year, normally I don't talk about politics, but my God, has it been something to see so far. Again, this is an India site, and they are talking about that Republicans are already thinking about what are you going to overthrow exactly? You're going to do another January 6th and what? Take over the Capitol and then what? It was not going to end well. I can guarantee you that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Oh yeah, here we go. This is from Politico.com. The very real scenario where Trump loses and takes power anyway. Again, two weeks to the election, these are the stories that are getting traction, where you're already convincing people, if we lose, we didn't lose. Therefore, you should just go out and start burning down blue team homes. Hey, by the way, I know I didn't show you. I showed Peanut. Do you notice anything strange about this image here? Look at my cursor.
Besides that Trump is the eclipse?
No. See this? Oh, it's a new peanut. It's a peanut. It's a grizzly peanut with a baseball cap smoking a cigarette.
I love it.
Yeah. And as I'm looking at Peanut smoking a cigarette, looking pretty grizzled.
The resemblance is uncanny.
I know, right? That's what I thought too. I was going, wow, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
I mean, it is. I need to see it on my TV later. It looks a little small.
I'll drop it into. You know what? I'll drop it into chat for you right here. Into Strange World.
Oh, whoa.
Strange World.
Damn.
Chat. There you go.
That's a tough looking peanut.
I know, right? You wouldn't want to eat that. That would be bad.
It reminds me of those Raisin Bran characters back in the day.
So the subtitle here is, if Trump overturns the 2024 election, here's how it could happen. Oh yeah, it is not. Let's bump this up a little bit so I can read it. The dozens of interviews with people deeply familiar or involved with the election point to a clear consensus. Not only could Trump make a second attempt in overturning an election he loses, but he and his allies are already laying the groundwork. Really? Because the VP is the one that makes the final call, and that happens to be Kamala. So the threat remains. Oh, yeah, again, they're talking about January 6th again. You wonder if January 6th was set up that way the first time, so that this time it turns into something weird and ugly. But again, how is Trump leading and potentially losing and winning simultaneously? You know what I mean? The messages are all over the place. There's all sorts of people say, oh, he's leading in every swing state. And yet there's stories like this that say if he loses, he's going to try to take power anyway. It's like, okay, what about, again, the alternative is, which is if blue team wins and it isn't contested. I understand the people that say that this could be, you don't want this to be the last election, but at the same time, If blue team wins, red team has to contest it, which we'll talk about next week, which is what my short was about, which is we've had 58 elections. None of them have been contested, ever. And no, I don't count George Washington, because during 1789, when he was elected, there were no political parties. It was just him. There was nobody to contest. It was just him. It's like, well, you're the guy. Sure, why not?
I like what Spicy Sarah said in the chat. She's like, I'm just so over humans. It's like, it does kind of make you feel like that. Like, where are we headed? How is this even possible?
Yeah. I know. Where did we get, again, which is why we'll talk about it next week during Presidents and Presidents. How did we get here? How did this happen?
Because it's all fake.
Right. Most of it has been the artificial polarization, which is, hey, you're red team. You should hate blue team. Hey, blue team. Trump sucks. You should hate him. Again, he's a ratings gold, which is why blue team can't stop talking about him. But yeah.
Right? I mean, looks like the chat thinks Trump is going to win.
Yeah, of course they do. And do they kind of agree with, if Trump loses, should he contest? Ask the chat room that. If Trump loses.
Okay, chat. So if Trump loses, should he contest the election results? Are we back to the hanging chads from what year was that?
Oh, that was Gore and Bush. That was was that 2000? When was the hanging chads, Peanut?
I think it could have been 2000. Hanging chad.
Not a matters. Should he will? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 2000. The again, it's the polarization. Trump's first. Oh my God, yeah, they're just going into it.
I'm feeling like it's less hype in my friend group. It's less hype this round than it was last time. I feel like because Trump had already been in 4 years, people were more anxious to get him out, so it was a lot more stress.
Yeah, and in this time, they demonized him for so long. Again, they demonized him while he was in office, and then they demonized him in the last 4 years. So now you've had 8 years of hating him. I mean, again, blue team is going to lose their minds if they lose. But like the line here from one of the Democrats, they said, no one knows exactly what Trump's attack on the electoral system will be in 2024. Yes, you're absolutely right. This will not be over by Wednesday morning. I will be going, just so you guys know, on Tuesday night when we do the show, we're not going to run long because we don't have to. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to sleep well. I'm going to get up, going to turn on the news and just watch the chaos. Because it is going to come down to some swing states, and they are going to argue it down to the minutia. Watch it turn into where it comes down to like one county in the middle of Michigan, and even then it'll be one voting station in the middle of Michigan, and then all of a sudden a fire starts. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what I want to bring up, because the October surprise. So just so you guys know, the people that are still holding out, because there are some diehards out there that say, still tell me even now that. In fact, let's go to the next story just so we have it in there. Yeah, there we go. They tell me even now, this is from Newsweek, by the way, Electoral College map projector flips all battleground states in Donald Trump. They're already saying, oh, Donald's got it. It's like, really? Because you don't forget, I don't want to forget October surprise. Don't forget that the night before the election, when he ran against Hillary, there was an 85% chance across the board that Hillary was going to win. 85% chance. And it wasn't even close. By the time, we didn't have to make to the next morning. It was like 1 and 2 in the morning. It was over. It was already done. So, which is opposed from the Donald Trump Biden thing, where everyone goes to bed. It's like, oh yeah, he's got the swing states. It's over. And we wake up the next day. It's like, Joe Biden is now president. It's like, what? What happened? I just went to bed. And I woke up, which is why I feel bad, because there's a lot of Republicans that are going to stay up really, really late. Okay, let's talk about the October surprise. And I don't have any faith in it. I don't think Peanut does either, because there's no time to set up the narrative for it. People have been saying that there won't be an election because something will happen to prevent the election from happening.
Yeah, like a giant asteroid impact, or the aliens are going to make contact. I mean, those are the only two things that are remotely, what's the right word? I want to be.
It's extreme to have something like that. So just so you guys know, yes, a giant cataclysm. But it would have to be, to quote Peanut, huge. It'd have to be huge. It would have to be massive. It would have to be something that would affect more than just our country. It'd have to affect more or less the whole country. So if the New Madrid fault system went, that wouldn't do it. If San Andreas went on its own and didn't take out the entire coast of California, that wouldn't do it. If the Yellowstone volcano went off, when there's no indications of that at all, then yeah, maybe, because the ash cloud would travel a long way and that would disrupt a lot of stuff.
Okay, but if predictive programming is a thing, then that means they're just going to shut down the internet.
Nah,
a cyber could happen.
A
Do
cyber,
I think that's going to happen? I don't know.
A cyber attack, maybe, but we have so many redundancies, and you got to remember the internet's a military backbone system. I don't think so. What could stop it though is some sort of declaration of war. So if there was a cyber attack followed by, oh look, there was the Russians and Iran joined forces, we should get them. Declaration of war would do it, and that would harken back to the days of Franklin Roosevelt, when, as you guys know, if you're in the middle of a war, you don't change presidents. So he was stayed in, and I'll talk about this next week. He stayed in for 3 terms, and then died during the 4th. It's like, nope, we're not changing you. And then when he died, then they brought in Truman, and then the war ended. That's what they could probably do here. And again, you could also use the health emergency at that point, because again, the Biden thing. And I know people gave me some crap. It's like, we wouldn't be leaderless if it was a contested election. We still have Biden. And it's like, what, are you serious? It's like, what are you kidding? That's how we got into this mess, was that he backed out. That's the whole point. We're even in this. You can't just go back and say, oh yeah, he's going to run the country again. No. Grandpa's done. It's over.
So then what do you think is going to happen? Can we brainstorm a little further?
Yeah. I think, which I said it in the thing, but if we want to go past the 60 seconds, which is, I think that Wednesday morning, it will be officially, I don't know what the legal process is behind it. It'll be officially contested by both sides. It doesn't matter who wins, which is why I put W and L on both of them. Both of them will claim victory. Both of them will say, we've got it. The Electoral College, we count the electoral as being this number, right? Doesn't matter what the populist vote is. I don't even know why they count it, other than it's kind of fun to watch. Electoral College, they'll say, we've got what is the minimum on that? Is it 260 for Electoral College, I think? You have to get 260. The magical numbers think it's 260. We've got 260. And then red team will say, well, no, we've got 260, counted by our count. Both will be in direct opposition, and neither side will cave in, which is why this is different from any other election. Remember, every other election, including the hanging chads, like you brought up, TJ, has been resolved rather quickly, because politicians, they cut deals. Al Gore's like, fine, they gave him some concessions. 270. My bad. Thought 260. It's never been. No one's ever dug their heels in and said, no, I'm fighting this. Which is why the last Trump election was such a big deal. Because remember, Pence, officially you're supposed to contest it. Your VP is supposed to contest it. Or he's the one that's supposed to make the decision. Remember, because he was the VP. And he didn't. He didn't do it. It's like, what the hell? And so everyone was mad at Pence, and that's why Pence isn't around anymore. So in this case, what I think will happen is it'll be contested on Wednesday. It'll continue to be contested. And at that point, well, I'll go out on a limb. My bold prediction, something weird happens in the United States during that time. Because you've got a window. It's not just something that can be happening. You have from November 6th all the way until inauguration. And at that point, if America's fighting amongst themselves, and there's both sides are protesting in the streets, because technically, if you did this right, you could get blue team and red team in the streets at the same time, if you wanted to. So if you do that, Peanut's typing something. That's what I would go with, which is, so do I think that red team will win or blue team will win? No, I think both sides will claim victory, or at the very least, both sides will not cave in. I mean, how could you? There are already lawsuits being prepped on both sides.
Well, if I picture, if blue team wins, I see weird things happening, continuing to happen, such as policies that people are kind of questioning, and I don't know. I don't want to be too specific, but when it comes to red team, I just think more rioting, and they can get away with more violence and that kind of a thing, like they did before. So I don't know. It's kind of scary either way.
It's not going to be fun. What I'm trying to get to people is it will be, in my opinion, and I am not downplaying this at all, red team doesn't riot. Yeah, red team does. Well, they haven't up until now. I mean, January 6th, it was kind of a gathering, but it wasn't really we don't burn things down. We don't do police stations like blue team does.
Okay. Yeah, so if blue team wins, weird things mandated. If red team wins, more weird violence and things that we can't predict.
But yes, there are some things. Yeah, there's some unknowns, which is why I put it in the slideshow. It's uncharted territory. Again, no election has ever been officially contested. Both sides have already basically said they're going to contest no matter what. I mean, they'll demand it. You'll have blue politicians be like, you can't actually accept Trump as the winner. And then red team, remember what I said? Red team is like, if you don't fight blue team, red team is done. The Republicans as a group are would be in name only. So, anyway, that's what I think how it's going to go down is going to be but what I'm trying to tell people is like, don't stay up. There's no point in staying up. Don't make this an all night party. This will not be over on Wednesday morning. It'll be, we'll talk about this more in, next week. And then of course, election night, because the speculation will be through the freaking roof. But I've never seen anything where both sides have, 2 weeks out and both sides, depending on which media you're looking at, the spin is everywhere. Meaning it's like, oh no, he's like the story that's right here. Electoral College map says, oh yeah, Trump's got it in all the battleground states. Really? Does he? It's like people are gonna they will separate themselves. Yeah.
Well, it's just interesting. In my friend group, they're less fired up this round. So maybe it's just our age, 40s. We're just like, we don't care as much as we did when we were 20.
Yeah, there will be people, of course, that won't be that mad, but think about the fact that the media won't even put him on television in a sporting arena because it's not their team. What do you do at that point if he wins? Do you just condemn him and then try to impeach him immediately? And let's bring up the elephant in the room, which the part that'll drive everybody really nuts is the sentencing. Remember, he did the criminal trial where he was found guilty on all counts.
Yeah.
And now it's like, the sentencing was kicked down past the election because they knew it would affect the election itself. We can't sentence this guy before the election. You're adding fuel to the fire. And it's like, if he wins, right? Imagine, let's game this out. If he loses, then you're going to go forward with the sentencing, even in dispute, and you could potentially try to throw him in jail while he's fighting the election results, which would drive red team nuts. If he wins, he's exempt, and he immediately makes himself immune from everything. It's like, hey, can't sentence me. I'm president-elect of the United States. Do your worst. What are you going to do? It's bad for the country to even think about it. Right. And then blue team's like, why do we go through all the court stuff for? Why do we even bother? Oh, yeah, it is.
What do you think the Illuminati wants this round?
I think they want what we're talking about now. The division is, civil war. Yeah. They want America to, maybe not a, street on street violence type thing, but they want the political system of the United States to neutralize each other to where people are questioning the entire political structure of the United States. Again,
yeah, that's what I see happening. That's why I see apathy. It's more and more apathy towards our system.
Yeah. And if that's the case, well, then America becomes, not the confidence of America gets eroded to where we're not we're all that in a bag of chips, which we've been singing for a long time. And that's what I think the Illuminati want, because you've heard me say this, and I'm not trying to be a downer when I say it. It's like, look, you can't have a world government with a country like America in the mix. We do what we want. We were the first superpower. We've continued that line. We have built ourselves up to such mythical status that we get in their way. We're the wrench in the gears every chance they try to do anything, and they hate it, and they don't want to deal with it anymore. So it's taken some years. This is not a short-term plan. So that's what they want.
Well, that's what someone in the chat said. Start preaching and take over, DJ. Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, we won't be doing that, but I do think we're supposed to pray Thy kingdom come, and we all, if you know what that means, But it's like, hey, they're setting the stage for something shiny and new, and it could be where the Bible describes an Antichrist figure, or we're just not ready. We're not at that point in the biblical timeline, but that's what I have my eye on. That's why I don't vote. I only didn't want to say because last time my friends gave me so much crap about it because they just think that I'm part of the problem if I'm not voting. But I haven't wanted, I mean, I grew up Jehovah's Witness. They don't even vote. They don't want to be a part of this system. And so I don't want to say that your vote doesn't matter, but it's just hard. It's hard to know what to trust. That's where my mind's at. So I'm kind of like letting the dominoes fall and trusting God. That's where I'm at.
Local elections, like Peanut's saying, local elections, yeah, everything except for the federal level. I think voting, works for. So I can't vote because criminal. But the rest of you, yeah, you want to vote in local stuff? Sure, by all means, have fun with it. But at the federal, I treat it no different than I treat professional sports. When you get up to a certain level, when there's a certain amount of money and influence involved, the game is rigged. Because it has to be, because it's all part of the show. Give the people what they want, which is they want interesting presidents now. They want interesting sports teams. They want something they can react to, the outrage. Anyway, we will see. Again, we will talk about this next week. It'll be a nice build up because I'm gonna talk about the presidents of the past. Little tidbits and fun little trivia things. And I'm a big fan of Presidents on Money, just so you guys know. I've always found that intriguing over the years. And there's some wonderful stories because we don't have a lot of presidents out of the 46 that we've done. Very few have been on money. So,
and I think you were talking about that on the Secret Show last week.
Yeah. Again, you posers out there that want to flaunt your wealth. You want to do something fun? Do your freaking homework. Walk into a bar or a restaurant and throw down a $500 bill or a $1,000 bill or a $5,000 bill. They exist. You can go to special coin shops and you can pick up. They're still legal tender. And the reason why you do it is because they're worth more than the face value. Like a $500 bill is worth $3,000, and because you just can't get them anymore. Right. And it's like, so the person you give it to, if they're smart, if the bartender, you might want to tell them, it's like, dude, do whatever you can, but don't put that in the frickin' register because you will lose out. But I would do that. It's like, look, want to flash some stuff? Flash some stuff. It's like,
I worked at a bank for 7 years. I never saw any of those cool, huge bills.
They haven't been around in a long time. The last time I saw a $500 bill was in the 70s. And it was on a game show. It was on Let's Make a Deal, if you remember that from back in the day. But I'll let people know. It's like, yeah, those bills are all the 500, 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000. They're all out there. And no, I don't count the $100,000 bill because.
Wait, we should pull up a picture when maybe it's too
well,
hard to do.
we can do it next week if you want. Why? What do you want to look at?
I just want to see what it looks like. I've never seen those.
Oh, how much is it selling for? Peanut sent me a link for a $500 bill on eBay. Yeah, I guarantee it's more than you think. How much is it selling for?
The weirdest thing I ever saw was a 30s or 40s $2 bill. It had outlined in red. It was so interesting.
Yeah, list price on $500 bill for a grand 30. That's not bad. That's pretty good for $1,000 for a $500 bill. But yes, a $2 bill, DJ. I'll talk about that next week a little bit. But let's talk about it a little bit now because we got some time. $2 bill still in circulation. Just so you guys know, they've been making $2 bills since the when was Jefferson put on that? 1869, I believe. Peanut, is that right? Jefferson was put on the $2 bill in 1869. And when I'm a big money fanatic. I know all this little crap. And so when he was put on, they kept making it. But it's like, when's the last time you got a $2 bill as change, right? It's been out there for 100 and something years. You never see it. Why? Because they put them in circulation. And as soon as people get them, they either put them in a drawer because they think it's rare, or they give them to a person with a cash register, and there's no slot for the $2 bill, so they just put it under the register, and it goes back to the bank. Oh my God! And then
people used to order them when I worked at the bank. People would order $2 bills to give them out as gifts around Christmas time. Apparently, they're good luck in some cultures.
Yeah, 1.5 billion of them in circulation as of 2022. When's the last time you saw one? You don't. It is absolutely. In fact, I used to have fun with people back in the 80s because my grandma was a big person when it came to money. Picked up some of the stuff for her. And that is, if you're under a certain age now, if you're under the age of 30, you don't even think they're real. I've given them as tips at restaurants, and I, and I'm not picking on women, but every once in a while, someone will pick it up. It's like, look at me and squint. It's like, no, it's real. It's not a fake thing. It's not.
Oh my God, you're so funny. You're that guy giving away $2 bills in the tips. That's cute.
I am. In fact,
that's very cute.
Oh yeah, post office. Yeah, Peanut at the post office. He says he got 3 last week. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, older people. A lot of older people at the post office. You bet. What's the picture of?
How about those dollar coins? Those didn't go really far.
Well, oh boy, how much time we got? Yeah, I got some time. You know what? You want to talk about dollar coins really quick? Okay, so we had silver dollars up until they pulled the mortgage when they had the Liberty silver dollars. Up until Peanut, when did they stop making the silver dollars? Was that $19 coins? Was that 1922? I think. Look up when they stopped doing the walking liberties. And oh yeah, this.
What's that?
He's showing me a $10,000 bill. Who's on that? Was that the $10,000 bill? Is that?
Head.
Oh, $10,000 bill. I believe that's Salmon Chase, one of only 3 people that's on the money that's not presidents. And if you're wondering who Salmon Chase is, yeah, it's Chase from Chase Manhattan Bank, but he had nothing to do with the bank. They just ripped off his name because there was no intellectual property back then. So somebody thought because he was the Secretary of the Treasury for Lincoln, if I'm not mistaken, and they said, hey, he's so well respected. Let's start a bank with his name. They did. And that's where Chase has never gone away. Okay, yeah, there we go. The Seated Liberty, 885, yeah, 1921 to 1935, yeah, the peace dollar. Okay, so they stopped making the peace dollar in 1935. So there were no dollar coins. And then this ties into flat Earth, guys, believe it or not, because in fact, I've got one on my fridge over there. You guys can look it up, which is after the Apollo program, they introduced a brand new dollar coin. So from 1935 all the way to the 70s, there were no dollar coins. And then right after the moon landing, Eisenhower was not on money until then. They put him on the front. You know what they put on the back? They put the Apollo 11 arm patch as the back of that coin. And it was used from 1971, I believe, until 1978. And then when they went to the Susan B. Anthony dollar, they used a small version of that, the Apollo 11 arm patch. So that went from 1979 until, 1982, and then they didn't do anything for a while, and then they came up with the Sacagawea dollar and some of the other crap. Yeah. So anyway, the Apollo, and again, I gave away, because you were saying, oh, you're that guy. Yeah, I was that guy. I gave away Eisenhower dollars as tips in restaurants.
God, you're funny.
I mean, I put down like a stack of like 8 or 9 of them on whatever after buying a burger or whatever. And people look at it and people get really excited. It's like, oh, hey, it's silver dollar. No, they weren't. The most they even had in those coins was, I think, like 40%. They were basically an alloy metal. But it was just straight up space propaganda in a coin that ran from 1971 all the way up until the mid 80s. How's that for weird?
I would have fell for that for sure. When I worked at the bank, if I ever did see weird coins, because as a kid I used to collect coins with my grandfather, super fun. I would always kind of trade out. You're not allowed to obviously take the money from your own drawer, but you could pay
DJ,
for whatever weird money you found. What?
Can you hear DJ? Is he fine? DJ, go ahead.
Can chat still hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, chat.
Somehow my headphones are screwing up. Give me 1 second.
Hey, chat, can you hear me? Shout out to Iron FE. What happened? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. I had some headphones issues. So.
Oh, well, what I was saying, when I worked at the bank, if I saw interesting coins, you could pay your own money and buy from your own drawer and take home and collect stuff. So I used to collect certain kind of coins and dollar bills, things that I thought were interesting back in the day. We were always looking for old pennies, trying to get those.
Yep.
But yeah, I would have totally fallen for a space program coin, something ridiculous.
And I didn't even occur to me when I was looking at it. It's like, oh yeah, the eagle has landed. I mean, that's the Apollo 11 patch, which is the eagle has landed on the moon. It was an eagle literally on the moon's surface with the craters. And I was going, okay, I didn't pay any attention to it, but that was straight up space programming. And it was fascinating for me that they ran that for a number of years. Yeah, the Susan B. Anthony run, thank you, Peanut, ran from 79 to 81. That also had the Apollo patch on the thing. And yeah, Peanut says he had steel pennies. That was 1945 when they were running out of copper. And so they ran steel pennies, I think, for 45 only. I can't remember exactly. I don't know everything about coins.
Out of everything, still my favorite is the Drummer Boy quarter when you get one of those.
Drummer Boy. Oh, was that a state quarter?
I don't know. Remember, it was just like this unique looking quarter, and as a kid, I used to think it was so cool. I didn't even know.
All right, I got it. Peanut's gonna have to look that one up. Anyway, the point is, we'll go over all the presidents. I love the presidents with money, and I'll give you the history on all those. Favorite little trivia for you. Again, Thomas Jefferson was on the $2 bill, but he was the third president. What the hell? So, but again, if you 1944 to 46, yeah, close enough. We ran out of copper, so we ran steel pennies, which is so weird. Okay, anyway, how much time?
Someday I'll have to tell you when I was robbed at the bank.
I want to hear this, since we're talking about banks. You were actually at
talking banks. I know. I was wondering if I should bring it up or not. Okay, so when I was 20 years old, I was kind of new, and when you work at a bank, they tell you, like, if you ever get robbed, you're supposed to just give them the cash. Right. It's like, don't even think about it. Your life is more important. And so, of course, you watch these really lame, cheesy training videos where they're like, hey, stick them up, and then the person's like scrambling, and they go, but make sure you put in the bait money so then we can track the money if we ever catch the robbers back, and we can say that it was from our branch. Right. Okay, so they kind of try to hit that home, but you really only get one 30-minute video on getting robbed. So I'm there on a Saturday. It's like 10 minutes before we're closing, and back in the day we closed around 2 o'clock, and there's only one other teller, this really cute girl. Her and I were like kind of shooting the shit, having fun, and then all of a sudden, she sees someone come in, and I have a customer in front of me, and she immediately starts hitting the silent alarm. So I don't even know, but she sees, when I finally see what's happening, they say, everybody put your hands up. And so then my client just kind of went stark white, and I peek around him, and I could see these really creepy looking guys. They had long dreads, they had beards, they were wearing Raiders sweaters, and they had those plastic faces where you couldn't really see through, as like a distorted face. Sure. And they go and they take the gun and they push my client out of the way, or the customer. And mind you, I'm 20 years old, going kind of new to the bank, and they immediately just put the gun, they put it right to my forehead.
Really?
And they're like, give me all the cash. And I was just like, everything goes into slow motion instantly. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This can't be happening right now. And it's like, you could hear a pin drop in the branch. So as this is happening, I noticed that the other guy who also had a gun took a customer hostage. She was a woman. So we're standing there, we're seeing just everyone just frozen, and then they're looking at me to start performing like, hey dude, give me the cash. So I started throwing in the money as fast as I can. I was like, I don't give a frick about this money right now. You can have it all. I was like, do you want this box of quarters that weighs like 100 pounds? Do you want that? I'm just kind of in my mind going, I'm not letting this gonna affect me. Do you want this loose change? Like, what else should I give you? So, but I did know that as I was giving them the top drawer, they also want the bottom drawer, and I gave them the bait money, and I was like, all right, I'm throwing in the bait, like whatever, don't care. And I just was thinking, like, please don't shoot me. If you're gonna shoot me, like, could you, maybe below the below the face?
Not the face.
I was like, what? Not the face. Like maybe I have better odds of surviving this if it's a little below the neck. But there was no room for me to even talk. He kept screaming, "Who's got the keys? Who's got the keys?" And I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. We have combos. We don't really have keys, so I didn't want to argue with him. So I just sat there going, okay, well, do you have what you need? Because like that's all I have. And we're like looking around. And luckily, they didn't push it any further, and they started backing up slowly, and they took off. And that poor woman that they had taken like hostage for the moment, they pushed her in through the door, and they took off. And guys, it was so crazy. I run in the back, and I tell my manager, who's like having pizza, because we were all starved. We just wanted to get off the clock and go have lunch. I was like, Jen, I was just robbed, and I ran into the bathroom and was just like, I don't think they're going to come into the girls' room, so I was hiding in there for a second, which was kind of normal back in the day for me, because they had like this whole other area that was like a sitting area, and they never caught the guys. It was kind of crazy.
Wow, really? The silent alarm and the bait money, they still never caught them.
No, it wasn't tracking money, and my poor mom was like, "You're quitting that job." I'm like, "Mom, it's fine. They're giving me 2 weeks paid vacation. We had a pizza party. No big deal." Like, it was just... That
was your compensation, was 2 weeks paid vacation?
That was my compensation. At that age, what was I, 19, 20 years old? I was like, this is so worth it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, it's a cool story. I mean...
it was crazy. I've never really had any kind of flashbacks, except for there was this one movie where I think it was called Point Break, where there's a bank robbery, and I'm like, ooh, it is kind of intense thinking that you could, if they just freaking pop one off on you.
Right.
But luckily I was fine, and but they did never catch the guys, so it was scary.
Yeah. Sometimes they do get away. Every once in a while here on the island, they'll do They pulled one a few years back. It was one of the oldest tricks in the book, which was they staged a fake bank robbery. They called in a fake bank robbery at one of the other branches that was way far away. All the cops go there, and then then they robbed the bank that was very, very close to them, and then they just took off up island and waited till the heat was off. And they got away with it. It was a smooth little thing. But I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, luckily everybody was okay. But that woman, she had like a traumatic couple years. We heard through kind of the grapevine that she had to go to therapy because her kids were in the car and she was so panicked. That was like the worst part that actually happened from that whole experience. But after that, our bank put up those bandit barriers. We used to not have them, just exposed.
Oh, sure.
So then it felt a lot, safer. But I mean, it is what it is. We kind of knew.
Yeah.
Your training kicks in that moment, and then your your fight or flight or whatever. I just kind of didn't panic and just gave them what they wanted and was like, all right, please not the face and bye.
Yep.
It was one of those.
People say that crime doesn't pay. Well, obviously crime pays. Otherwise, there would be no crime. And bank robbery is one of the old. I mean, come on, that goes back a long, long way. Bank robberies. So hey.
Yeah, the worst part about it is that I was not wearing something that was dress code. I was wearing this like sweater that was from Express Men, and it wasn't really technically bank attire. And they had taken all this video footage of me that went across like to all the systems, and it was on the news. And they're like, "What are you wearing?" I was like, "Guys, like I just was robbed. Okay, this sweater is way nicer than a button down. I'm sorry. Like, you just need to leave me alone. I was just robbed."
Awesome. Hey, let's knock out these. We have one more story, then we have Clown Worlds. Real quick, and by the way, thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. That was a perfect way. Perfect way to segue past my presidents with money stuff, which I will bring money.
Go right into Clown World.
Oh, we're almost there. Which was before we get to Clown World. This one segues actually pretty good into Clown World, which is Iranian. This is also from RT.com. Iranian general claims secret weapon more powerful than nuclear bombs. So they have suggested that munitions have already been used in the past, but that information about them is top secret. Ooh, so scary. Yeah, I'm sorry. United States wrote the book on secret programs. We've had always the best toys out there. If Iran can come up with something that, one, they developed on their own, and two, that we don't know about it, nude bombs. Nice. Sound like Arnold just then. There's a bomb in there. I'm not buying it for a second, but again, nice little. Hey, look, it's Egypt again down here. But it's a nice little bait story, which is Iran might do something. It's like, really, Iran? Because we'd love to start a thing with Iran because we want their oil. It was a good movie, nude bombs. Yeah, I bet. Okay, before we do that, let's change over this headline thing. Hang on one second. Let's change it to, what are we doing? Clown World. Where is it? Clown World. There we are. Clown World, slightly cut off. But you know what? We're gonna deal with it. Clown World, and that thumb was taken from one of our previous shows. Okay, so in Clown World we have 3 Clown Worlds. And first one is this one. Oh my God. Okay, it's from the Daily Maverick news deck, but this was all over the place. This is the best shot I got, which was air taxis take one step closer to reality with the new FAA rules. Never yet. Peanut and I are on the same page with a lot of stuff. This is never gonna happen. You are never gonna see this. Okay, first off, what you're looking at there, that is not an air taxi. That is a drone that a person can sit in. And if you think for a second they're gonna let those anywhere near a major city, you are dreaming. Oh my God. And besides, it is essentially... Yeah, Osprey Tech. Yeah, it's essentially, it's a combination of that. Well, except that things don't move. They only go, I don't think the blades even pivot, do they? Do the ones on the side pivot? Go forward, maybe? They move? Okay, so it is kind of, it's kind of Osprey Tech. It's a cross between a helicopter and an Osprey. If you guys don't know what those are, the propellers on the side will go from vertical to horizontal, and that will give you some better speed moving forward. Oh, my Lord, though. So they showed this thing off the show. They've got it cordoned off. You're not walking up to it. I'm sure the instrument tray, I'm sure that's just a shell. There's nothing in there. Could you fly a human-sized drone? Yes, you could. It's battery only. There's no internal combustion engine. You would treat this no different than a helicopter. You can't fly in bad weather. You can't fly in cold weather. You can't. There's a certain weight limit, and I'm sorry. When you get to a certain point, you're in trouble. So the hype behind this is the whole flying cars myth. That the future that we were promised all the way back in the late 50s, going all the way back to the frickin' Jetsons, which is like, oh, you'll have robot servants and flying cars. We have been chasing this dream forever. And everyone thinks now that we have drones, we'll just scale up a drone to where it's this big and it's the flying car. It's not the same.
Well, what a bummer. You're such a buzzkill, guys. Like, this looks awesome.
It looks awesome, but where are you going to put it? That's not something you have in your driveway. That thing's...
What? No.
And you're not going to let the average...
The future sucks.
The average person is not going to be driving this thing. I mean, you might be able to get away... You know what you might be able to get away with something like this? You remember how I made fun of the robot taxis last week? You could do a robot taxi version of this, where the person gets in and they can drone them from this place to that place. The person...
Yeah, it's like perfect. I can't walk that far. Can you take me to my house?
Exactly. Yeah, or you want to go to the top of that building? Fantastic. And like Peanut says, well, rent a helicopter. Yeah, we've been doing the helicopter version of that for decades. This is nothing new, but like you say, DJ, someone's going to sink money into it. It's like they're what they're doing is they're hunting for more investors to try to make this real. It's a dream they'll never catch. They've never been able to catch it. It's not going to happen. Nope.
Oh, wait, is this Tesla on top of it? Because that would just kill me.
The what?
Oh, Tesla. What company is this supposed to be?
Oh, no, this isn't Tesla. God help us if they try to get into it.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised they're trying to do everything.
This is the only reason they're talking about is the FAA made a ruling where they're saying, oh yeah, we might be able to do some training and make sure, this actually goes through and consider it an FAA, because the FAA has to control it. This has got to be a full blown, they're going to treat this no different than if you buy a Cessna. You're going to have to get certified to use this damn thing. You're not picking this thing up at freaking Walmart or Costco. This is not going to happen. You're not building this in your backyard.
So it's not going to be like an Uber, like Uber copter?
No. And would you get into it? Why get into this when helicopters have been around for a long time? Why get into
Well, couldn't they do like certain areas? Okay, so what if they built strips that are a little bit inland and it's like you could take this alternative to driving on the freeway and it's going over like hillsides and desert?
Yeah, but again, we've got helicopters and it's not cheap. It's not like you can do this for the price of an Uber. This is Peanuts just keep saying over and over, rent a helicopter. Yes, you're competing against an industry which has been there for a long time. Again, this is one of those future things which drives me insane, which is, look, there are no flying cars. There are no robot servants because they killed all your kids. The flying cars just crashed. What are the other things?
The future sucks.
Yeah,
I always thought by the time I was 40, we'd be on Mars and out of flying cars and all this shit. Instead, the Earth is freaking flat and unbelievable. Well, it's way better actually knowing this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we should.
I'm not complaining. I'm just laughing because if I had not figured out flat Earth, I would be so frustrated.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's go along with this. This is the media. Part of it's clickbait, but part of it's just straight up ignorance. Which is, here we are.
Look who's back. I'm back.
This is the BBC, The Terminator. How James Cameron's science fiction slasher film, well, they weren't wrong. There was a lot of people died in that. Predicted our fears about AI 40 years ago. And they go into it. Let's talk about the Terminator. And it's like, okay, so many things wrong here. And Peanuts is dying because he knows. He and I have talked about this at length, which is
Peanuts rubbing his face like, you got to be kidding me.
This is not. Again, part of the future stuff. You're not getting. People is like, oh, the Terminator. People worried that forget about the Terminators. I'm sorry, the robots falling on your children. Terminators are not going to take over, and Skynet isn't going to all of a sudden start marching into cities and start killing everybody, because they can't figure out. There's multiple issues with this, but they keep talking about AI like it's going to figure stuff out and start wiping out humanity on its own. It's going to start thinking for itself. It's not. It's just not going to do it. But again, it's great. It's a big article, by the way. This article goes...
Right. Maybe it's not going to do it on its own, but they're going to pretend like it's doing it on its own.
Yeah, but how far can you take that? ChatGPT, as you know, didn't do well in the long term. It was good for a hot minute, and then there's HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh boy, I'm sorry, 2001: A Space Odyssey. That was 1968, guys. That's a long time ago. We've been talking about thinking machines for a long, long, long time. Not going to happen. You can't figure it out. I know. I come from the software world. We don't know how to start the process. We don't know how to build it. Sorry. So yeah, but again, this article is massive, and this is the BBC. This isn't some small publication. Brits, if you're listening, don't buy it. Okay. You know what? We can't do a clown world without talking about Elon. This one drove me insane. You probably saw this, which was because Elon just talks, and he says, Americans need to breed immediately and don't worry about the cost of raising the children.
Oh man,
he's not kidding, and it's like because he's worried about the population. The people are having less and less kids, and the population is going to eventually collapse. And it's like, so that's your answer. That's your ham-fisted answer. It's like, hey, have as many kids as possible. Again, sorry, one more thing, and this is getting some backlash. Said the billionaire. Don't worry about costs of kids. It's like, yeah, how many kids does he have? 8? Something like that? 8 or 9 kids? It's like, yeah, you can afford your 3 wives and your 8 kids and your child payments. Yeah. But telling people to have as many kids as possible, you're crazy. Yeah, Peanut's got 15 kids. He's got 5. He's got 5 kids.
Whoa.
But yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah, thank you, Elon, for there's him looking confused. He's looking for thoughts in his head. He's looking at his hairline and wondering if it's moved. Let's go down. Oh yeah, there's him. By the way, you thought he jumped once in front of Trump? Oh no, that's a look for him. Yeah.
This is just
that's a meme.
Horrifying.
That's a meme. And again, sorry, I need to remind people real fast. You don't want to stick on this pic for a sec.
He's making the X like the Twitter's X.
Oh, is that what he's doing? I don't think he's doing it deliberately.
It
if he was, he should just do it with his. He could do it without jumping. But don't forget, guys, that I know this is a red team chat room, but don't forget, blue team, if Trump wins, this guy gets a cabinet position. He's going to be in the White House. He's going to be driving. He's probably going to be taking his Tesla freaking human-sized drone to the White House on a daily basis. He's special counsel. Again, Idiocracy. Did you ever see Idiocracy, the movie, by the way?
No.
Oh my God! How have you not seen that? Peanut's stunned. How have you not seen? How have you not seen this movie? You've not seen?
Wait, tell me about it.
Oh my God! Okay, so it's a Saturday Night Live cast member movie where 2 Saturday Night Live cast member actors, I can't remember who they are stuck in cryo sleep. Something happens to the world, and they wake up. How many years later? Like a couple hundred years later, in America, and America has been so dumbed down. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely people. It's amazing that anything functions at all, right? In fact, what year was that? And the reason why it's come up in the truther community so many times is because the older that movie that gets, the closer it hits home. I mean, it was made in what year was Idiocracy, guys? Chat room could probably tell you.
2006.
2006, yeah, 2006, and so it's 20 years old or almost 20 years old. And
this sounds fun.
You got to watch it. And when you watch it, people have been saying over and over, it's like it should not be a documentary. And it is. Who would have thought that from 2006 to now we have gotten to the stage? But again, what I'm looking at on the screen there, Elon Musk, one of the biggest frauds in the world, and he is going to be one of the dumbest narratives, one of the worst written characters I've ever seen in my life. And he is going to, if Trump wins, seriously, he's horrible.
Man,
he will.
We are so being Illuminati sacrificed one day, just so you know, from all this.
Oh no! I got you. Just ask me. I got some coupon.
You, me, and Patricia, we burned.
No. I got vouchers. You'll be fine.
Okay, good.
Okay, last one before we close this sucker down. Let's do this. Ready? Okay, so Elon, we thought that was the end. Oh, no. You probably saw this one. This is the end from the BBC. Again, this is where we are. Idiocracy. Ready? So a woman in Australia, young girl. In fact, you could probably look her up. Her name is Matilda Campbell. She was in New South Wales, and she dropped her phone between a couple rocks. She wasn't rock climbing. It wasn't. We're talking ground level. It's not like it's the mountains. That's where she was. She was in here, right? She drops her phone down there.
What was she doing? Taking a selfie?
Probably. She drops it. She goes after it, and she's thin enough to squeeze through and get stuck face first in the freaking dirt. And they had, and like, you know, friends were around. It's like, oh, maybe we should get help because they couldn't get her out. So they had to winch the rocks and get her out.
Oh, that's scary.
Right?
Though.
No, it wasn't scary. She wasn't, again, we're not in the mountains. Look, there's a trees, forest, the paramedics. It wasn't, yeah, it took 7 hours to get her out because they had to figure out. But the point was why she got stuck in the first place. She got stuck because her phone was down there and she kept reaching and she kept reaching. And we know where her head was at. You know, I know why. And I know we're running out of time. You know why? Because here's her quote at the end, right? And I'm going to watch the video eventually. We were all, so her friends were down there, right? We were all like, how did you get down there? And how the hell are we getting to get her out? Unbelievable. The rescued woman was left with just minor scratches and bruises. Bruises. The ambulance said she did not, however, manage to retrieve her phone. And then she posted later, thank you to the team who saved me. You guys are literally lifesavers, she wrote in a message. Too bad.
Oh my God, literally.
But then she
said, I know who this girl is then.
The last line was, too bad about the phone though. She was still upset that she couldn't get the phone. And I'm sure she asked them. It's like, hey, any chance, you know, you could, it's like, what's wrong with you, girl? Oh, right. You're a Gen Zer that got in there, you know, because of her phone. So I'm going to look her up if I get a chance. Because again, they didn't have a photo of her on camera, but it's good stuff. So thank you, Matilda, for letting me know. So
nice.
So yeah. Anyway, sorry, chat room. Let me know really quick before we sign off. Should DJ see Idiocracy from 2006? Is it worth the watch? Because seriously, from your side of the fence now, you should I think you should absolutely watch it.
Oh, for sure. I think I need to watch that. It's very Futurama. When
it is. Oh, hell, Futurama, I think, stole from. Well, who did Futurama steal from it, or did it steal from Futurama? That's a good question. Because Futurama started what year, Peanut? Was that in the 90s or was that in the early 2000s? Because yes, you're absolutely right. It has got a very Futurama vibe.
I hope they check their bank accounts because all that interest, you know, over a couple hundred years, maybe they were billionaires, like, you know, Fry from Futurama. That was my favorite thing about it.
Yes, there was that.
his 97 cents compounded over 1,000 years, and turns out he's a billionaire.
March 28th, 1999 was Futurama. Yeah, best year in entertainment. Okay, we're about ready to call this one. So, DJ, what? Any?
What's on the horizon?
Yeah, sorry, we didn't get to that part. we don't have time. Hey, look, this is our first time.
I love that you tried. I love that you did. I love that you're even trying. I mean, it wasn't 100% what I envisioned, but it's cute.
What? What?
I was envisioning where more of the screen goes
black.
Oh,
for the love of God! All right,
and
Peanut will have to do that if we get to that point. Peanut will have to come up with some.
I didn't want you to cover up your face with these things.
Oh no, I don't mind.
Banner.
Here, I can change it back.
Well, I mind, and the audience.
No, they don't so much. I don't think. Here, now we can get it back to. There I am. There's me.
I was thinking more of graphics.
I know the whole news, Globe headlines.
The more of my friends that watch this now I'm going, all right, guys, you're right. I kind of, let's dress it up,
dude.
Hey, you want to be on the show because apparently
the what?
Well, I have too many reasons, but here I am.
That's true. You know what? No, I appreciate your every 30 seconds. Oh, yeah, news alert every 30 seconds. Yeah, we should have a crawl down at the bottom of the screen. I know. Well, Karen did a wonderful job on making the flashy stuff. We'll come up with something.
Okay. No, I mean, I just appreciate you. Hey, guys, if you have any suggestions, leave it in the chat. Let's see what you want.
All right. Next week, again, is Presidents and Precedents. Patricia will be back. No secret show tomorrow. Are you doing anything fun? You're still thinking about doing your own thing, aren't you?
Hey, I'm getting more and more requests to have my own channel and some my own content. People like the Bible discussions and maybe even Bible study. I think, guys, I'm looking forward to getting something like that started. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok, DJ Curious. You can just look that up and please say hello. Your Fast Earth clues are blowing up. We're getting lots and lots of content and comments there. Wonderful. I was just on an interview with Crumb, so check out Don't Follow Crumb on his channel. That was fun. And that's it for right now. But, you know, stay curious out there, people.
All right. What else was I going to say? Was there anything fun? I don't think so. All right. Remember elections in 2 weeks. Can't wait. I don't have a title for that show yet, but I'm sure I'll come up with something brilliant. Next week we will be here. Same flat time. Same flat channel. Say goodnight, Patricia.
Patricia.
What?
Love what you're doing.
Say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And Peanut says title, and so it begins. Oh yeah, and so it begins. Yeah, that could be the thing for 2 weeks. Yeah. All right. Roll credit, hot sex. So you know what? We're just gonna fire this thing up, get the montage going in my sticks. Thanks everyone for tuning in. It's always a pleasure.
Patricia, you're so sketchy.
Chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. There's love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Paige needs to get into her PJs with her cup of cocoa and her 6 marshmallows. Night, Mark.
Mike Jack. Jack.
You realize it's the same link every week. It never changes.
Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think.